Hell yeah, and welcome to episode 60 of the Temple Bard podcast with me, Jim Wynne, and Philip Noone. Philip, it's the run-up.
The run-up, Jim. So it's the run-up to Christmas.
Run-up to Christmas.
You're just back from Hungary.
Starving. Troy Parrott, sainted figure.
Saint Troy.
Yeah, the aftermath of that.
And if Evan Ferguson had been fit, he wouldn't have been playing.
No, and probably would be out. But yeah, no, and it's also the run-up to... Well, it's Black Friday today as we record this.
Thanksgiving was yesterday.
As we found out.
They don't have Christmas. They don't have their Thanksgiving dinners they have turkey, but they don't have all the good shit that we have. They've got loads of they've got a green bean thing with mayonnaise.
Pecan pie.
Pumpkin pie.
I was learning today in the run up to Christmas. I was looking up Christmas songs, I always look them up every year. I had a file with them in, but it seems to be lost. But I was rocking around the Christmas tree, and it says, "Later we'll have some pumpkin pie and do some caroling."
Yeah.
I didn't know pumpkin pie was a Christmas thing.
Did you not?
No, I thought it was a Thanksgiving thing.
I just knew it from that song.
I thought it was a Thanksgiving thing because pumpkins are obviously Halloween here, and then Thanksgiving is kind of the end of Halloween and the run up to Christmas.
I saw Garron Noone doing a thing yesterday with. He was doing a Thanksgiving dinner, but he was doing this thing with canned pumpkins, and he was like, it smells like a fruit or a vegetable if it had an arse.
Pumpkin arse.
Garrett, who you were mingling with a few last
Garron
week.
Noone, yeah, I met the man himself, and he was sound. I kind of felt for him walking into a room. We were at a birthday party, and then he was a special guest coming to meet Aaron Rowe actually, and he came in. We met him outside, and he came in. I just got a feel for how it must be for him walking around all the time.
Just everyone just
wants to call him delicious and ask him stuff. Well, no, everyone wasn't really swinging out at him. Everyone was quite respectful, but he probably feels wherever he goes that people are thinking that, because I think a lot of people were thinking it. And
I suppose in that setting, right, you're dealing with a lot of people who wouldn't be the type of people to swing out at you.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You're going into a thing where where most people are in the same industry. Everybody kind of know, like you were saying, there were a few big musicians there,
yeah,
and you were going into an area where a lot of people were the same. So imagine what it's like when he goes to turn on the Christmas lights, or
he was on his way to Mayo. He was getting a taxi to Mayo, and that's what made me think. And I was like, why would you get a taxi to Mayo? Then I thought, imagine Garron Noone getting on the train to Mayo. Jesus Christ, he wouldn't get a minute's peace.
You'd have one fella sitting beside him going, do you know what?
Yeah. You know what's delicious? Do you know what bars I don't like? So everyone there, everyone kind of left him alone. He got up and sang a few songs, and he didn't stay too long. He stayed for an hour or so. He was grand, lovely lad. But I kind of felt for him in a way, the downside, we always talk about here. The downside of this is wherever he goes, people are thinking know him. And he doesn't know them,
Couple that with agoraphobia.
Exactly, what we've heard about the things that he struggled with. So I just got that vibe. He was sound, I thought he dealt with it very well, and he didn't even know Aaron, they had never met before.
Oh, really?
So it was their first time meeting. So he's basically walking into a room full of strangers, 100 or 200 strangers. We're meeting him outside, and he was sound. But I kind of felt for him. It kind of gave me a view of what we've been talking about, how it must be.
You were saying Mundy really impressed you just with the way he dealt with kids and everything.
Mundy was cool. Yeah, he was there
because he's always been a great lad. Now I've met him a couple of times, and he's just always been a really sound lad.
Yeah, no, he was cool. Yeah, they were all cool. There was loads of legends of the music. I was sitting there at one stage watching Mundy and Richie Malone and Aaron and Don Baker, is it? And
Don Baker,
lots of them just
great songwriter.
I was just sitting there going, sitting there in the front row. Basically, I was at the first table because I got up and sang a few songs myself. Everyone did, and I was just sitting there this is wild. imagine sitting here and watching all these legends. So it was great. It was great crack. But it was cool to meet Garron, and in the run up to Christmas, he was going to turn on the Christmas lights. A taxi to Mayo. How much would that run you?
It'd be tight. Yeah. I get a taxi from Carrick Mines into town, and that's tight.
I got a taxi home from the airport a while ago. That was €90. So can't imagine a trip to Mayo would be under 500. Well, no, it must be at least.
No, I'd say 500.
I'd say more than 500.
400 to 500. I'd say.
Yeah. But last night I was doing a gig, and I was brushing off the Christmas tunes, and I was like, "And happy Christmas, everybody! It's Christmas time." And in unison, like about 12 Americans all went, "It's Thanksgiving." And I was like, "Oh yeah, it is Thanksgiving," which you reminded me yesterday, and I was feeling thankful. I just, whatever it was, I got up yesterday. First of all, the weather was really nice for some reason. It wasn't cold, and
It's nice today too, but it's colder today.
It was absolutely pissing sideways when the rest of us were up this morning, Philip. You're only, yeah. You're only up out of bed.
Don't be doing me like that. Don't be doing me like that.
I got up this morning, dropped the baby to school.
I sleep my own hours.
Yeah. I got up this morning, left the baby to school, and it was like sideways rain, freezing cold, depths of winter. The two of us got soaked going from the car to the school. Got up here. I actually put a video on me because there was a bumblebee up here yesterday in the middle, near December. And then today it was sideways rain. And then I went out then later on because it's sunny again now. I went out to see if the bumblebee was there. I didn't see him. But crazy weather. Duality collapsing weather, Philip.
Drink.
and Christmas drink. In a groundbreaking first ever bit of research I've done for this podcast, I looked up what does Black Friday mean.
Right.
Why is it called Black Friday? And it turns out it's because it started in the 60s in all the like police officers and things. It was a big thing in America. And they called it Black Friday because it was like stressful and like, you know, they all had to be on their guard because of all the... You've seen the American things where people run into stores, knocking over each other. Yeah. But apparently then retailers changed it later on because they wanted to change the image of it. So they turned it from Black Friday as in stress to Black Friday as in it takes all the retailers out of the red and puts them back in the black.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So it's funny how you can twist these things.
Not to be confused with Black Eye Friday. Do you know what Black Eye Friday is?
No.
So Black Eye Friday, I'm from a town on the border between Ireland and Northern Ireland. We're a border town, Cavan. And on Good Friday, everybody from the border towns used to go across the border to drink in places like Enniskillen or whatever.
Right.
And Good Friday was called Black Eye Friday because anytime anybody went across into Enniskillen to drink on Good Friday, they'd be batons. They'd just batter each other. So it was called Black Eye Friday because of all the fights in Enniskillen on Good Friday.
So you were having Good Friday pints and fights when we were all the rest of us Southerners were
praying
at home in sessions usually. Yeah, it used to be the Black Friday, the Black Thursday for Ireland used to be the Thursday before
Holy
Good Friday.
Thursday.
When everyone used to go into the off license and buy bottles of whiskey and
you wouldn't get anything on the shelf.
No, you wouldn't. It would be like the COVID all over again. Not a bit of Jack's roll, except it's not a bit of Jack Daniel's roll.
But yeah, so the Thanksgiving thing is mad. Do you know like do you have a good grasp of? Now listen, we're two Irish lads, but do you have a good enough grasp of what Thanksgiving is? It's when they give thanks for.
It's to do with the Pilgrims and the Native
Indians.
Americans.
Yeah.
So apparently there's a lot of warring, but it was like this one day where they decided to sit down together, and to me it's a bit like an archetypal thing. You know, when there's warring, it's like did you ever hear the Germans and the English
playing football on
Christmas Day, that kind of thing. Something that takes away the me versus you and shows you that we're all the same. So that's we don't do it in Ireland. And it would be pretty cool to do, I think. Maybe we'll have our own version.
I think my knowledge of Thanksgiving comes from the Addams Family Values.
Yeah, mine too. Yeah. Mine too. Or all the movies I've ever seen. Like, it's just all about coming together, bringing family and watching American football and that kind of thing, no?
Speaking of coming together, you thought I was going to go sexual with that.
Right now?
No, come together. Paul Mescal, Barry Keoghan, and there's another Irish actor. I think are playing three of the Beatles or maybe
no way.
Yeah, in the new Beatles remake.
That's scary.
Paul Mescal, let me get this right. Paul McCartney taught Paul Mescal how to play Blackbird on the guitar.
Oh, yeah?
For the film.
That's class.
Barry Keoghan.
Do you know that's the most covered song of all time?
Is it?
Yeah. I read that in a recent audiobook I've been reading.
Tell you, if John Denver was still alive, he'd disagree with you.
What's he did? Country Roads?
Yeah. Well, no wonder.
Is he not still alive?
Who?
John Denver.
John Denver died in a plane crash.
Did he? Yeah.
John Denver, right? He was mad. Oh, yeah. He had this little Cessna plane that he used to like fly around these lakes and stuff like that. Like apparently it was a wee piece of shit, this plane.
Yeah.
And loads of people were like, "Please stop flying this plane." He just kept taking it up, and eventually
should have stuck to the country roads and left the country skies alone.
No, John Denver died. Yeah,
that must have been years ago then, was it?
I think in the 70s.
All right, I don't remember hearing about it. But sure, there's so many people dying, you wouldn't know.
John Denver, he died in the 70s.
Yeah, so the run-up, we're on the run-up now to the playoffs. If you were here last week, you'll remember that we were going to Hungary with hope. And Jesus, we came back with a qualification chance. What a fucking game to be at. A madness it was.
And now we go and play, as the old man told me, so we have the Czech Republic. But he came up to me and he goes, we're after getting the Chechnyans.
Yeah. Is it called the Czech Republic now? Why is it called Czechia? That's probably what they call themselves, but I don't think is it called the Czech Republic anymore? Because I haven't seen it written as the Czech Republic anywhere.
No, they call themselves Czechia.
Yeah. But I haven't seen it written in English anywhere as the Czech Republic since the draw or anything. It's always Czechia, no? Now.
Oh, was the...
That's maybe it's like just maybe we're the dualities have collapsed, so we're starting to call people what they call themselves.
I'll actually there's a friend of mine, she works in one of the bars that we sing in.
Yeah.
And I'll ask her, I must see what the crack is.
Yeah.
She's from Prague.
All right, well I have yesterday booked flights.
Oh, did you already?
Booked flights and trains for me and my two eldest sons to go to.
Thanks for telling me. I appreciate that. I'll see you after.
You can also come. I'm not paying for your thing. It was €1,300 on Lufthansa for flights to
Vienna,
flights to Frankfurt, and then on to Dresden, and then from Dresden I have to pay for it. We have to get a train up to Prague. So it was just like.
Did you look at Budapest? Because I think Budapest and Prague are close too.
I looked at loads of places, but to go into Prague itself was €2,800. It would have cost just for flights, and that I think I looked at Budapest, and the only flights out of Budapest was at 7:00 in the morning the next day. So you would have had to been going after the match and wait in the airport, like basically.
Not at all. No, you go straight from the match to the pub to a session to a kitchen, from the kitchen to the airport. Two sons.
Well, so now we're going to.
I know we're joking, but
we're watching.
But once upon a time, maybe in our younger days, that would have been.
Oh yeah. Well, no, we'll have a good knees up, and we're staying the extra day then, so we can probably go, and then our flight from Dresden is at like 7 p.m. So we might go and see a bit of Dresden. East Germany, haven't been there before.
Heavily bombed, yeah.
It's probably all new stuff. So looking forward to that. But yeah, it was a unbelievable game to be at. And I was telling you that I felt a bit like imposter syndrome because we were there with a lot of lads who go to home and away Ireland matches for years. They've been through all the struggles and we just rock up for the biggest game ever. So it was a bit of that. And also a bit like...
Love that.
Yeah, and also a bit like I didn't go mad, like wild mad. I was like happy, but then I calmed down very quick and I didn't take it to an extreme either way. I watching the match when I thought we were out, I was like, 2-2 was something to build on for the future. Then we scored the goal and I was like, oh yeah, we actually did it. But I didn't go. I remember when Federico Makeda scored that goal against Aston Villa, and I was in that ground, and I lost me shit like for an hours afterwards. And this one I just kind of went up, enjoyed the moment, and came back down, and then just kind of enjoyed the atmosphere more. It was more balanced. I found myself more balanced. Whereas and a lot of us, we were in the pub afterwards and we were just watching videos from home of all the pubs erupting. That was the best. That was one of the best parts of it. Was watching all the videos of people at home.
I was watching the house myself and I was like, no way. Because it was just like, I think I was anticipating it, but then I was like, it's probably gone. And then when their keeper saved...
Yeah, that chance, we thought that was the chance.
And I was like that. I was like, you're not getting another one of them, because he didn't even save it cleanly. He saved it from the underside of his arm.
Yeah.
And it just kind of came down. And I was like, that's that one. That was their bit of luck.
Yeah,
and that's it.
Me and my brother said to each other, that was the chance. And then it went in. We were just like,
no, you just
mind blown,
unbelievable,
mind blown. But it was great. And Sabazlai.
Listen, as much as he was acting the bollocks, I kind of still felt sorry for him at the end, and I'll tell you why. Because I know if I was him for Ireland, I would have done exactly what he was doing.
That's
you know what I mean?
That's what I mean. Like he was playing the heel for us and the hero for them. You know, a bit like Ronaldo with the crying the week before. So I get it. I didn't hate him or judge him for it. I just thought it was a bit of irony or something. But because he was walking over, he was like walking. The funny thing we saw was he was walking like really slow to take all the corners.
Yeah.
Like he was like moping walking. And then he'd do the crying face. But then, as soon as the match was over, he walked the exact same way back to the dressing room. You know what I mean? So he did the same walk, but just with two different emotions. Like it was a funny little connection I found in it. But
What a footballer, though.
What a footballer! What a second goal they got. I went downstairs to get a hot dog. I was starving. We hadn't eaten it, and we've been on the glue vine all morning. And went to get something to eat just before half time, and they scored that worldie of a goal. And like all the people serving the food were going wild behind the counter. And then when we were finished, when the game was over, they locked us in there with all them poor folks, and the Irish people, the Irish fans were having the absolute buzz in the concourse area, like. And then they wouldn't like no one was leaving, so like they just kept ordering pints. They cut off the bar, then still no one was leaving. Everyone was doing the shoes off for the boys in green, and eventually they just got security.
Violence?
No, not in the stadium. We saw one little fight in the pub afterwards.
Because I know their ultras are supposed to be heavy, like.
Yeah, I think there was one fella. We were in an Irish bar afterwards, and we just looked out the window. The top window, we could see it. There was one, apparently some Hungarian fan kept coming up and starting shit, and eventually I think he got knocked out, and there was an ambulance came. That's all we saw. I didn't really see anything. There was no violence though. They're all Hungarians, just like everywhere else. They're sound.
But Jim, if somebody gets knocked out, Jim, it happens a lot.
Yeah, it happens in Ireland a lot.
It happens in Ireland all the time.
Yeah.
You just never know. You just just.
No, it was just one of those. There was no trouble or violence that I saw. There was a lot of meeting people from all over Ireland, and the thing is though, we were lucky to get, well, not lucky. We bought those tickets when Ireland were out. There was 3,000 tickets available for the Budapest, and we got them like for €20, like when there was nobody wanted them really. Well, the people who always go would have wanted them, but we got them. But apparently for the Czech Republic game, their biggest stadium only holds 19,000.
Right.
So there will only be 1,000 tickets.
Oh, I see. Yeah, 800 tickets. I see.
800 to 1,000 tickets. So very unlikely that we'll all get the tickets. So it's going to be an expensive old trip to Prague to sit in the pub and watch it anyway.
But just to be there. I remember
just to be there.
Because I remember when we went to the Euros, I had tickets for the Italy game. I had tickets for the Croatia game. I didn't have tickets for the Spain.
If the FII are watching in your away team portal there, give the lads some tickets.
Yeah,
give the lads some tickets.
Sort of.
We'll shout you out. We'll shout you out on the Temple Bar podcast.
Speaking of shouting people out in the Temple Bar podcast, ladies and gentlemen, for anybody who's followed us all along, we were supposed to have someone very famous this week.
Yeah.
This was the week.
This was the week
We were supposed to have
the run
someone
up. This
very
is supposed to be the run up to the Hell in the Cell.
And I'm keeping an eye out now to see where he actually is this week. I'm going to see what podcast he does this week. I saw him today eating pizza with some fella in Cork.
Oh,
some
right.
food reviewer.
Right.
So we were supposed to have Mick Foley, Mankind, the wrestler, on this week. We were speaking to his people. They were like, yeah, he's doing a thing in Belfast. You can do this, you can do this. So everything was good, right? And then they were great all along up until about a month ago. And then there was just radio silence.
Yeah.
And I've sent them
Several.
I've sent him a few messages. But so it'll be interesting now to see what Mick Foley does this week, to see what podcast he's on.
Yeah. Well, maybe
I'll kill everybody.
Maybe they have somebody there who want to have the biggest reach or whatever.
Well, no. I understand that. Of course, I understand that. But
yeah. What's he selling anyway? A book?
No, I think he just does these nights. I think. See, this is the thing about wrestlers, right? Longevity and stuff. Like, there's probably not a lot of money in it when you're done, and that's why a lot of them probably do it late in life. Like. Like I'd say, you know more about.
They all go back to do.
They all go back, but because
cameos.
if you look at Ric Flair, sure, he's in his 70s or whatever, or
yeah,
maybe older, and he's still like Hulk Hogan was doing it. Is Hulk Hogan dead?
Yeah,
I'm only after thinking that. Yeah, but I'm pretty sure we've addressed that. But
yeah.
So like Hulk Hogan was doing it up until his death. Now listen, the lads who don't need it, right? Randy Orton, The Rock, John Cena,
the new fellas.
The
newer fellas,
the new superstars. Do you know what I mean? Because same with football, like even if you look at the overlap recently, Gary Neville and them boys are talking, they're discussing their contracts, whatever. Like Gary Neville was on 1.5 million a year. Roy Keane was on 4.5 million a year, I think, at his peak. Wayne Rooney was on 17 million a year at his peak.
Yeah.
And And I mean, that's...
There's inflation in there as well, which isn't... But yeah, no, I watched one.
Saliba's probably on more at the minute. I think Saliba's on like 400.
I watched one with Ashley Cole yesterday. They were talking to Ashley Cole, and he was
Roy
saying,
Keane's phone went off.
Yeah, very funny. Very funny. Duality collapsing. Talk about dualities collapsing. Roy Keane.
Whose phone's that? It's good manners, isn't it?
Yeah. So there you go. But I watched it, and Ashley Cole said he was getting 200 grand a week or something like that. But it's funny. These things are things that.
But he was class.
I was thinking at the time, you'd never hear celebrities or anybody really talking about what they made or money. You know, that's like another new thing, like that transparency that's come with the dualities collapsing, or the dissolution of media into podcasts and YouTube, and like people are being much more open about things, and even about, like we talked about, like about feelings and about just about everything. There's more transparency in everything.
I'd love if some of the big superstars, some of the big singers, I'd love if they came out and they told people what they're getting for private parties. Like I know that American singer that has tattoos all over his face.
Right.
And a beard like yours.
Molly's brother.
Molly's brother. Right. Molly the statue's brother.
Yeah.
So he got 6 million for a private gig. And that's just for showing up to
there's only one part of the world you're getting that.
And yeah. So he got 6 million. In the Middle East, he got 6 million. And then you hear stories about like J-Lo turning up to do birthday parties for like 5 million for like, you know, for sheiks and things like that. So I'd love, like, listen, I know an Irish duo.
Right.
Who were in 2 boy bands themselves. Right. 2 separate boy bands.
Right.
And they do their own stuff. And they get insane money in the Far East.
Yeah?
Insane.
All right, I think I know who you're talking about.
For just doing like parties and things.
Well,
like
that's the thing. Like your brand or what your image becomes of value. Plus, money is not like we look at like $6 million dollars or euros, and
for 45 minutes.
That's a crazy amount of money
for 45.
But if you're a trillionaire,
yeah, well, that's
it's nothing. It's nothing. It's like, and you have to understand that money as a made up thing is only, like everything else, it's only from a perspective. Like what's a lot of money to you is nothing to someone else, and vice versa. So it's always
it is some flex to have J-Lo come out and sing happy birthday to you or whatever. Like.
It is. I mean, even if I had the money, I don't think I'd do it.
No.
Yeah, but that's only from my perspective. I can understand if you're someone who like, you know, you getting the photo booth and the clown to the birthday party, you're just not going to do it anymore. Get Jenny from the block.
Get
Jenny from the block. Don't be fooled by the rocks that she's got. You know, so
she's singing happy birthday. You're just drinking a big pint of fresh adrenochrome.
Yeah. Adrenochrome fountains. Just someone throwing babies in the wood chipper at the top.
I mean, legally, that was.
That's how you make adrenochrome, freshly squeezed.
Allegedly.
So yeah,
we'll have to consult the lawyers on that one.
We're not saying do it. We're just saying that's how it would be done. So yeah, it's mad how. So it just shows your perspective. I've been reading a book, actually, funnily enough. I've been reading a book about yogis and yoga this week, and it's actually it gave me a reminder, because usually stuff like that's Hindu or Buddhist stuff kind of resonates with me more, but this is a perspective where it's a lot of rules and it doesn't resonate with me really. So it just goes to show you, nothing is like Hinduism or Buddhism or non-duality isn't just like this one thing that I just get, like there's things that you won't get or you won't resonate with as well. This lad's just talking about how like eating meat is violence and all sorts of different rules. Like it reminded me a lot of the Quran in a way when I read that. It's a lot of rules which kind of make sense from a kind of a moral perspective, but from my own perspective, it's like all energy. So like a cow, a plant, a person, a guitar, it's all the same energy. So whatever you eat, you're eating yourself, and there's no rule that's like objectively true to me anyway. So from my perspective, I found it interesting that something that I usually resonate with, I kind of gave me the ick in this.
Well, it was funny. I was actually chatting to one of the lads today, He actually listens to the podcast. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, by the way, when I was at that party, there was loads of people who told me that they loved the podcast.
The fella said it to me in the gym the other day.
Yeah,
Didn't I tell you this?
Yeah, no, go on. Shout out Dalto, played at the party as well. So you listen to every episode.
Good stuff. Yeah, shout out to and yeah, your man in the gym. I don't know who, but he said he knew you years ago, and he said that he listens to the podcast. So shout out to everybody who's listening.
Shout out to everybody who's
coming
listening,
back every week, and all fair play to you.
Yeah.
But yeah, one of the lads I was chatting earlier, so he listens every week, and he's very religious, but very spiritual as well. But he was talking about whatever way it got into Buddhism, and I'm not going to say what he said, but whatever he said, I said, if Jim Wynne heard you saying that.
Well, that's what I mean. That's where we get lost. That's where it's taken to, like, everything's taken to an extreme. You can take anything to an extreme. So, like, when you find your way and you think that everybody should have the same way, that's an extreme, you know? Or
well, what he keeps telling me is get rid of the rune. The Ehwaz rune.
Oh, right,
he
yeah.
just keeps telling me.
Yeah, well, that's like...
Throw that fucking thing into the sea.
Yeah. A lot of people would say that as well. I mean, I wouldn't have an opinion on it, really. I haven't thought much about it, but that'll be for you to do, because it's your
I still have it, by the way, for anybody who was talking. Yeah, I still have
Arsenal are fucking flying.
Arsenal are flying.
Liverpool have fallen off a cliff.
Listen, I'm not...
Ireland qualified, and nearly qualified.
Yeah, I don't know if this is all the Ehwaz rune. What I will say is it has affected my life in different ways.
Yeah.
Since it has come into my life, it is. There's been some positives. There's been some negatives. but I will say that
it's shaking things up anyway. That's for sure.
Listen, it hasn't come in quietly. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Riches and ruins.
All will be revealed.
All will be revealed in future episodes. Mick Foley wishes he was here to hear all about it. We would have told him off camera as well. You're tough shit, Mick. He thinks he has some wrestling stories. We've got some.
We have some wrestling stories.
Yeah. But so like everything else, you know, it's hard sometimes to accept people or how it is. We kind of want the world to be a certain way for us to be happy, and I just find that the more I start listening to things with opinions, I listened to in the gym today, I was listening to a Joe Rogan episode about aliens and all, and it's just when I'm listening to it, it just doesn't do anything for me anymore. And a few years ago, I would have been like, oh, this is interesting. Like, I wonder what's going on there. But now it's just like you're making a story about something on a screen. It doesn't, like, it's not the thing. It's just a picture on a screen of the thing. Like, it's to me, like, it's more and more things are becoming not. I'm not getting dragged into the whys and whens, and I'm getting dragged into the whys, but not the how things work or what, like this stuff like this. No, it's just something I found in the run up to Christmas that slowly but surely this ego was melting away. But it was a big heavy session in Budapest, which wrote me off for a few days, and it was a big heavy session at the party last week, which wrote me off for a few days. I'm going to take a little bit of a...
Aaron Rowe's flying, by the way.
But flying he is, yes, flying.
If you don't know who Aaron Rowe is...
And a lovely lad. He hasn't changed a bit since last time I seen him.
And I mean, he's in Hong Kong now.
He's in Hong Kong
and he's going
now.
on to do Ed Sheeran's Loop Tour now, January, February.
Yeah.
For Australia, New Zealand, he's class. I heard a song the other day that he did live in Sheffield. And it was like, you always meet someone who knows someone's cousin, and they turn out to be a fucking spoof.
Right.
And it's basically his struggle of trying to make it, like, and it was
Right.
someone going like, oh, you have to meet this person who knows this person, and eventually it's so good.
All right,
I was
I
listening to the song the other day,
that.
and I was like, why didn't I write that? Like, you know, do you know when you hear something and you're like, it's and there's a lovely little bridge chord in it as well. It's and his voice, he's class.
Exactly.
I'm a fan.
Yeah, he's always been really. Look, in the same the other night, he was trying to show me something in Dadgad, like, and trying to explain like the theory behind why notes work. And I was just looking at him going, I just don't see it the same as you, bro. I can't. Like, he's telling me like this is why it's in D, and I was like, doesn't work for me. But he's so passionate. Like, even like I thought like he'd be off the road and he'd want to put the guitar down now, but no, at the party he wanted to play the most, and when we got back to the session he was playing the most, and he's always had this unquenchable love for music, and it's something I haven't seen in anybody else that I've met personally.
I remember the first time I seen him live, and I remember going like, fuck. I remember going like, this boy's deadly. And because how do I describe this? Like everybody does something different. Like you do something different to me. Like I do something different to who? We all do something different to Ray Scully.
Yeah.
Ray Scully does something different to Jake Sulman.
Yeah.
Jake Sulman does
Rob McGuinness.
Like he does something different to Rob McGuinness. Do you know what I mean? Like we all might sing similar songs from time to time, but we all do something different. Except for like, okay, I'm gonna go out and just put this out there. Ray Scully is just different overall. Yeah. Ray Scully gets onto that spaceship, and whether you're on it or not, everybody's going to the moon, like you know. So he does something completely different. Funny enough, I was actually at Ray's a former guest, but I was actually at Ray's gig with Tony Cunningham, who was also a former guest. And the two boys got up and did Linkin Park in the end, and it was serious. But Ray was doing this loop pedal stuff, and he went into Praise You by Fatboy Slim. And I was standing there thinking, do you know what, Ray? Fuck you. Like, I was standing there thinking, this boy is class.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, and it's funny because it's like you can look at some people like it's not even anything tangible. It's like I'd look at Ray Scully and I'd be more impressed by what he does than what Aaron does. But what Aaron does is just got this appeal to it. You just can't take your eyes off him. It's an X Factor thing. Like he's also obviously brilliantly talented and like unbelievable, but it's just he's also got this X Factor thing and this drive as well. And so it's just everyone's where they're supposed to be.
That's it.
And it's beautiful to watch. And it's again like I said with Garron Noone, it's not all. I know it's not all going to be roses either. You know, no matter what happens, everyone has their struggles and. It's not all.
Especially when you get to that point, like where you get to where Garron Noone is. When we're editing these episodes, we have to cut certain things that we say that can be misconstrued.
When we're editing these episodes.
When Jim's editing these episodes. When Jim's editing these episodes, we say some things sometimes that can be misconstrued, right? And that's even for us with not a massive following.
Yeah.
Like Garron Noone comes out and says something and he's judged by millions.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. But what's like, to me anyway, it doesn't make like whether it's all the same thing. So millions or one person doesn't really make a difference. So sometimes we look at things and we think like having the millions of followers is more desirable than just having a few followers. But to me, like it's just you're always going to have a certain section that is praise and a certain section that's negative. And whether that comes whether you're posting about tea bags to millions of people or whether you're posting about some political issue to just your friends, there's always going to be some positive and some negative with everything. And you can, like, the ego will say that the more, if there's millions more people giving you negative, that it's more negative coming. But to me, it's all the same proportion. You know?
Then you see, right, so this is good because he has control of it, right? He can control his narrative, right? In that he controls all his own social media, right? And he does all that. I'm going to give you an example of where it's taken out of your hands. Right. So I've gone viral a few times. Some of my songs have done really well, millions and all that kind of crack. Now, there was one time I was twisted drunk in Cyprus and I was on a stage and the place was full. And I did the Rattling Bog. And I was all over it. I was drunk, like, and I was like, oh, roll rattling bog, the bog down in the valley, yo, you, right? Like, going for it, right? Twisted. Maybe 10 pints of Guinness in me, a few whiskies. Plate bouncing up and down in front of me and all. This girl, Paul McCartney, had just gone super viral with her Rattling Bog, singing at the wedding.
Right.
The Irish wedding when she's sitting on her sister's knee, and you know
I haven't seen it, but
it's got like hundreds of millions of views. It's like 6 o'clock in the morning at an Irish wedding, and it's the whole family sitting around, and they do a lovely in tune version of the Rattling Bog.
Nicely recorded,
the whole lot, right? I do this in Cyprus. Some cunt standing beside me with a fucking Nokia 3210 or something, right? This looks shocking. Looks shocking, sounds shocking, but the place is going mad. What did the Irish Post do? Get the video and post it on their social media.
Right.
The Irish Post. Their crack was 90 out in Paddy's Bar, Cyprus, or Paddy's Bar, Ayanapa.
Yeah.
I had no control over that video being posted there. if it was up to me, I would have had that video deleted forever.
Yeah.
Didn't even remember it happening.
Yeah.
The whole comments. This is shite. This is terrible. Who does this fella think he is? This is a terrible version of the Rattling Bog. This isn't like Clodagh's version. Stop trying to steal Clodagh's thunder. This nowhere near as good as the blonde singing it at the wedding. I mean, I did out of 800 comments, there wasn't one even semi-positive comment.
Oh yeah?
And this was before you could do the emojis, whether you liked it or gave it a thumbs up or angry face and all.
Right.
Shocking.
Oh, really?
Shocking. I remember sitting looking at my phone going like, I didn't ask for any of this. I didn't ask for any of this.
Not on your egoic level, but at some level. That's what it's like when we think a video is good and it'll do well and it doesn't, or we think a video is shite and then it does well. It's like everything is as it's supposed to be. It's when we hang our happiness or our contentment on some outcome. That's when we suffer. So it's like this thing, like you didn't have a choice, but someone put it up there and everything. But it's to read all those comments and internalize it. That was your choice on some level, you know what I mean? But it's I understand that, and you like there's things that you post, or there's things that I posted before, and like the next day I'm like, oh Jesus Christ, what do we do? Or the Facebook memories, and you're like, you know what?
Oh no, Facebook memories are shocking.
Yeah, so there's
shocking.
there's always stuff like that, but
anybody watching Home Alone Christmas Eve, go away, Philip. You know what I mean? 2007. Anybody else watching Home Alone? Oh, go away.
Do you need picking up in the morning, Rio? Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. I know. Stop. Like there's, but that's. I mean, those are just.
Super cringy.
But that was just now. That was now from a different. So you've changed.
What a finish, son.
Yeah. When I see mine, it's all about Man United, and
so that's what I mean. Most of them are Arsenal. Like,
yeah, mine's all about like, we've turned the corner now. We've signed Falcao and Di Maria. Yeah, so little did we know. But yeah, so there's always like, but that's the balance. So we find the balance. Like I tell you, like when you can take it to either extreme. I was thinking the other day, actually after the Ireland game, the Irish flag itself is an analogy for the dualities, because you've got the green, which is the Catholic, and the orange, which is the Protestant, and the further you get to the end of each flag is the extremes, but the white is the centre, the middle path, the piece between them, and what we have in common is the white. So my aim is to be in the white on all issues that I can be, and even when I find myself getting dragged to the extreme, to try and look at the other extreme, and then once you've looked at that, you can come further into the middle, to the balance.
Or you see, you've got to go in, green, white and gold. But then if you do it the other way, then you're the Ivory Coast.
Yeah.
And then if you want to symbolise it and put a symbol in the middle, you're India.
Yeah, well, there you go.
See, but that was me messing with it.
I know what you mean, but I read a book, I was telling you, called The Spiral Dynamics, which was a book about a psychological thing and spiritual. It was like somebody came up with this theory where there's 6 or 7 different manifestations of energy. Like, so they talk about red energy being like this. It's a bit like they said it's not to do with the chakras. And
that's what you're going to say. That sounds very chakra-like.
They said it wasn't, and they said that the colours that they gave were just arbitrary. They're just colours they give to it. But they're talking about like how a certain society, if it's in the red, it can't be like, when we talk about like trying to change like a society that's starving Africans or something. They talk about like how we just, by guilting people and by throwing money at it and keep giving money, but we can't. They're evolving as a society into the next. So you go through a survival category. That's where wars and stuff, red. And then they go to orange. Orange is like hyper capitalist. They talk about how American society is orange, and then like green is like hyper moral, where you get like when you take it to an extreme, it's all wokeism, but it comes from a kind of a place of not sympathy, empathy. It comes from a place of empathy. But then they talk about how you get to the yellow level, which is like more wisdom. And so it was an interesting read. Like I don't know, you'd have to make up your own mind on it, but it was an interesting read about. And he talks about how South Africa was a place where it had all these colours in different, like in during the apartheid and all. And he talked about how he implemented it as part of it. Like the fellow who wrote it, they worked with the South African government and they helped to implement it, and it helped to make it a more seamless transition from the apartheid into what it is now. And it was a very interesting book. I found it very resonant.
Jim, Christmas is coming. Please don't buy me that for Christmas.
No, I won't. You'll have to buy it yourself on Audible. It's available now. But we're in the run up to Christmas. We're in the run up to playing the Czechs. We're in the run up to a new year, and what's going to happen? We don't know, but we've got hope.
We've got hope. Folks, drop us a comment. If you're not following us on Spotify, a lot of people aren't following us. There should be a little bell there at the top. Just hit the bell. Or if you're listening to us on Google Podcasts or Apple Podcasts, just hit the bell, hit the follow button. Give us an old 5-star review there. It just helps us get into the algorithm and just kind of gets it out there. But we're still doing it.
We're still doing it. This is episode 60. Would you believe that we would have got this far?
Honest to God...
We had to be dragged kicking and screaming sometimes, but we did it.
But we do it. We do it.
We do it for the love of it.
We have some guests. We have some real guests coming up. Mick Foley can go fuck himself if he's listening to this.
Yeah. Undertaker any day now.
Although if Mick Foley's people get back to us today and they're like, you know what, you can get him now, we'll probably have to delete this episode.
I'll have to bring the baby and we'll head up north.
But yeah, so what was I saying? Oh yeah, so we're onto a couple of boys in a minute. So
got some guests. Well, even at that party, I met some good old friends, and hopefully we'll get a few guests. I hope we get Aaron on at some stage. Hoping to get Richie Malone on. So yeah, there's lots of guests there to get on. But let us know who you want on.
Yes, let us know who you want, or if you know anybody you think could be interesting. Actually, do you know what? I'm going to give a shout out now to Jacqueline Conley, who won Best Non-Fiction Book of the Year last night with Deadly Silence, with the Alan Haw book.
Yeah.
Congratulations, well done, Jacqueline.
Yeah.
We were big fans of it here on the podcast, and it was a brilliant book, very well written, and you deserve every bit of that. Congratulations.
Yeah. It's the run up to Christmas, the run up to the Czech Republic, the run up to the New Year,
the run up to penalties,
the run up to penalties. It's always a run up to something, and then it is that something, and then it's something else, and just try and stay centered if you can. We wish you all the love for this run up to Christmas, these holidays. Where I love Christmas. You love Christmas?
Love Christmas.
Some people don't, and that's okay as well.
It was my birthday a few weeks ago, and I don't even celebrate my birthday.
Yeah,
like I don't really celebrate my birthday at all. Christmas is my time. Like I just love it.
Yeah, it's more inclusive. It's something that everybody can celebrate together. Some people hate it. Some people hate it, and that's okay too. You have to have the yin and the yang.
Well, you know, it can be a very sad, because there's a lot of loss around Christmas. A lot of people always die around Christmas. And then I suppose people then associate Christmas with death, because I know families who have to go out maybe like, Christmas morning for...
Yeah. I'm not sure. Spain was killed on Stephen's Day. I know that. I know it well. But death, like everything else, is something that's... It's like we've talked about before. It's coming to us all. So, I mean, to me... it's another beautiful transition, and we're all headed there. And I know I can't give that view to everybody who's suffering, but I wish I could. And all I can do is give you the love, and we give you the love here from the Temple Bar Podcast. Happy Christmas.
Fuck off.
So we wish it.
It's not. I think we've got about 4 more episodes before the Christmas episode.
Yeah, probably. Well, who knows. So we wish you...
we'll keep that in.
Yeah, we'll keep it in. So we wish you a beautiful run up to the Christmas. We hope you're surrounded by the love of the season, and, just be sound, be kind, and stay bold. So that's it for episode 60 of the Temple Bar Podcast with me, Jim Wynne, and Philip Noone. Stay bold. Sláinte.